Hey guys, what's up? This is your boy Chris from DGM Garage, and today we'll be talking about alternators and batteries. We are going to cover the fundamentals of the electrical components and the electrical system in a car, right? So what is a battery?
A car battery is a rechargeable 12-volt lead acid pack that stores chemical energy in 6 cells. When you turn the key, it delivers a high current burst to the starter motor. Then the alternator recharges it and powers the car's electronics while you drive.
You know a battery is used to store current. There are 2 terminals on the battery. Normally it is identified by one, a red color, which is the positive, and then there is a black lead, which is the negative, right? Did you know an alternator is used to recharge a battery? To ensure that the electrical system is sufficient and it can operate efficiently. So you see we getting 14.5, which is really good. So we know battery. Without the battery, there's no party. Think about the battery as your party starter. Alright? This is what is getting the party started. So you jump in your vehicle and you turn your ignition or you press the button on your vehicle depending on make and model. And then what happens is that there's a transfer from your ignition, right? Because the battery supplies that current to the ignition for the car to even get lights on the dash, right? So after you turn the ignition, the starter motor is energized and that turns the engine over. When the engine is started, there's a belt that runs on the alternator, and that is a conversion from mechanical energy to electrical energy, right? So you might be thinking, what happens if my alternator fails? Say no more, I got you. This is where things become interesting, because if your alternator fails, the stored energy that is within the battery, it would deplete. Just like anything, there's nothing to replenish that stored energy because the alternator is responsible for that. Think about your alternator like a generator that just generates electricity for the vehicle, right? And once that starts to fail, the battery eventually, if you continuously use the vehicle, it could damage the battery, right? It could damage a cell in the battery, and you could even possibly damage sensors in your car, because most sensors in these 12-volt systems, they need that 12 volts. If the sensor is not getting 12 volts under harsh driving conditions, you could damage sensors because it's not getting sufficient current, or the vehicle could start to malfunction in terms of gears not shifting properly, fans not getting enough current, so the entire efficiency of the vehicle would be decreased, right? So I hope that clears up the air with the alternator. So the next thing is, okay, so my alternator failing, how do I know it is the alternator? Say no more. The first thing that we would do, we would test the battery. We would test our electrical system to see what values that we getting, and make sure that the pins are connected properly, because you could end up getting a wrong reading.
An alternator turns the engine's mechanical motion into electricity. The serpentine belt drives its rotor, creating a magnetic field that cuts through the stationary stator windings, inducing AC voltage. Diodes rectify that AC to DC, and a voltage regulator keeps the output around 14 volts to charge the battery and power the car's electronics.
Okay, so right now we getting 12.4 from this battery, right? Most batteries would rest around this, or like 12.5, between 12.3 to 12.5, while the vehicle off, right? So we would go and test the Subaru now. So the first thing that we would do, we have our multimeter. I'm going to show you how to use a multimeter one time. So you have a multimeter. This V here has volts, right? So we would put it on 200, or you could put it on 20 depending on what decimal point you're looking at, right? You put it on, make sure that your leads are in the correct position, right? So we have positive there, and then this is negative. We're not getting no readings on this. Okay, nice. So you see what we experienced there, right guys? If it is that you're not holding on the leads properly, you would not get a right reading. Yeah, so this battery is 12.8, right? It's a bit high because this vehicle didn't start for the morning, but we would observe it. We would see how it proceeds. And next thing that you could do is that if it is you want to test your ground, you could touch anywhere in the vehicle that is metal and you should get the same reading, right? So we'll touch the compressor, 12.8. If it is, we touch the alternator, 12.8, right? So we know our grounds are good, positive is good, right? So we would move on to the note now. So positive again, positive with red, black with negative, 12.6, right? Wait, boy. My car actually reading the lowest value here, boy. Wow. Alright, cool. Right, so now that we know that our system is good, everything is functioning, now we would start the car to know what values we are getting, right? Alright, so you start the car, lights come up on the dash, right? And then we will start, right? And then we will test again. So you see we getting 14.5, which is really good. So we know this alternator is working. If your alternator is failing, you would not get these values. Now we will do our load test. So we would put on things like the AC, the lights, the radio, to see how the current draw is, right? So radio on, we'll put on the AC, right? Turn on the headlights, high beam, right? And then we would watch our values. See, it dropped 13.2. Right? So if your alternator is failing, your lights are going to flicker. There you have it, guys. An alternator versus a battery. How does a battery work? How does an alternator work? And remember, there's your boy Chris from DJM Garage. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, share to everybody, and tell me in the comments what's the next mechanical thing that I want me to explain. And remember, don't guess, just test. Right? We out.